Thank you very much, Secretary Fabula, for your introduction. Other members of the Philippine delegation, John Howley, our very dear friend of the Philippines, and the other leaders of the chamber dedicated to business friendship within our two countries, members of the business community, both of the United States, especially Northeastern America and the Philippines, thank you all for being here today. As John said, many of you know much about the Philippines. Some might not. And I always like to have people who still don't know about the Philippines join these luncheons and dinners of John. It's an important way by which we can introduce ourselves to you, a way by which we can tell you how we have worked hard to turn around our economy, invest in our people, and invest in infrastructure, which is the subject matter of our seminar today. We are proud of what we have achieved. In fact, we are here to tell you, in plain and simple terms, the Philippines is the best value for your investment in Asia. As John indicated, we are committed to fiscal prudence, long-term economic growth, and political stability. At a time when the world economy is in upheaval due to the high prices of food and fuel and a global slowdown, investors such as yourselves need to be assured and reassured about the viability of your investments, and rightfully so. The surge in prices on food and fuel has certainly had an impact on our nation. Yet, as a result of our economic comeback, we're able to invest in key sectors to cushion the harsh impact of rice and fuel prices on our poor. We're able to continue to invest in necessary infrastructure like roads, bridges, and education, to name a few. All the while, we are balancing these vital investments with a commitment to meet our fiscal obligations and balance the budget in 2010. By boosting investment in infrastructure, we have been creating a springboard for further growth to ensure we're able to sustain our economic momentum while building a firewall against continued global economic volatility that is impacting countries across the board. These investments include, among other things, $200 billion from the national, local, and corporate government for about 10,000 kilometers of roads and 10,000 school buildings, among other infrastructure. And we are able to do this, spend these unprecedented amounts, in fact, maybe twice as much as historically we could spend, because a strong and growing economy has been the central pillar we have labored to create to help guarantee peace, order, and stability in our country. We are building this strong economy, and now it is helping us meet the challenges of the global surge in the price of fuel and food. And all these efforts are paying off. Our economy reached its highest level of growth in 30 years last year. The peso is strong. Approved investments doubled in the first quarter. And as John said, we are close to balancing our budget. Revenue collections were up in April and May. We remain on track to balance our budget by 2010. Overall, our fiscal situation has dramatically improved. Why? Ever since we made the tough decisions to implement the value-added tax. We have a number of congressmen here with us in our business delegation, and I can't help but repeat once again my gratitude to them, because the value-added tax was not only unpopular for me, it could have been unpopular for them also in their own constituencies, but they did it, and that is the single most important sacrifice we made to bring our country to the permanent growth it is enjoying today. So thank you very much, Congressman. Aside from implementing the value-added tax, We're also cutting down on tax cheats and cracking down on tax cheats and corruption, and maintaining tough discipline on our budget. We've been very successful in increasing our tax revenues, and our efforts have helped achieve double-digit growth in revenue collection in the past year. Thank you, Loida. So you can see we've been making considerable improvement. Having said that, we still have plenty of room to increase revenue by further enhancing tax administration. And that continues to be one of our main focus areas this year. We will enhance tax collections by continuing to implement administrative reforms. And I am glad that the international financial community agrees we are making progress. Moody's recently reaffirmed its positive outlook on the Philippines and recognized that we are maintaining good control over our fiscal health while making needed investments in our country. The other credit rating agencies such as S&P and Fitch, just in today's news, have maintained their stable outlook for very good reasons. We have seen the fastest growth in a generation, 7.3% in 2007. We've created 7 million jobs in 7 years. Historically, we were fortunate if we could create 500,000 jobs, but for 7 straight years, an average of 1 million jobs a year. We have a surge in foreign investments. At the same time, our budget is moving towards a balance. These factors will support us in weathering any global economic storm. That said, the global forces at work on fuel and food are indeed causing a strain on the world, including the Philippines. And we reserve the right to invest in our people to see them through this time. But that doesn't change our focus on fiscal prudence. We are hopeful that we remain poised for growth in 2008 as well. Of course, the global clouds are clearly on the horizon and will have an impact on most nations. But our reforms provide that firewall, significant firewall, against dramatic economic swings. And therefore, amidst a global economic slowdown, we have maintained a healthy pace of growth, with GDP coming in at 5.2% in the first quarter. But let me also point out that in a country where Filipino Americans and Filipinos around the world are just as important contributors to our economy as our own Filipinos living in the country, while we had a GDP growth rate of 5.2%, our GNP growth rate was still 7.3%.